Welcome to Let's Talk Cars Radio, your automotive specialist. Let's Talk Cars Radio is sponsored in part by Napa Car Care Centers, BDG Auto Group, by Liberty Transmissions in Virginia Beach, American Do-It-Yourself Garage, J.F. Whitlow Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling in Portsmouth, and by Bob Barnum and the Perfect House team. Be a part of the program today by calling 757-222-3705. Text your comments during the show to 757-866-2192. Email your questions and comments to Dave at letstalkcarsradio.com. Now, here's the host of Let's Talk Cars Radio, Dave Palach.
Happy Saturday, America. You're listening to Let's Talk Cars Radio on WKQA Freedom Radio. I'm your host, Big Davey P, hanging out with Cameron Chaos and Nate VB. Great day for a radio show. It's a great day for a car show. Hopefully, where you guys are at, the sun is out and it is not raining. You know how that is. Rain's always...
It's just a great day all around.
Yeah, there you go. Rain always kills everything. But, so, I want to jump into this straight right off the bat. We have been talking about this, and I knew that people are going to agree with me on this right out of the gate. If you don't know what I'm talking about, so we've been talking about car subscriptions.
Worst idea.
Worst idea ever. It has absolutely 100%
taken states by storm.
Yeah, and it has annoyed me from the get-go from the very first time that it was told to me. It annoys me as much as when your monitor stops working. So, as Cameron's running around trying to make everything work. It's one of those days. But no, it's one of those things. I knew for a fact that you were going to have problems with this, and I had a problem with it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, so they want to, as I told you guys before, produce brand new cars with everything on the car a subscription, right? Right down to, I mean, seriously, I've even seen them suggest where if you have automatic, like where the windows are automatic touch button, so everything goes down or goes up. For that feature, you have to have a subscription for it. You got to pay extra money. For you to have your heated seats or air conditioning seats, had to have a subscription for that.
You got to hold the button for the window to go all the way down.
You got to
hold it,
now.
or
You
can just press.
Now, right.
If you have a 99% subscription, you can just press the button of ease.
Yeah, and the window will go down. I mean, subscriptions for everything now. Like
I haven't been seeing them start doing where the auto starts instead of actually giving it on like key fob like they used to.
Yeah, the auto start would be a subscription.
It's actual on the phone app now where you got to pay for the subscription to use your auto start.
No, absolutely. So it's so like everything. They want to move everything to a subscription plan where they'll bundle packages together. And with inside this subscription plan, you get these features. And the more expensive one, a little more money, then you get these features. And they want to put everything moving to it. And the reason why is auto manufacturer wants to find a way to be in your pocket all the time. After the car's paid for, they're constantly in your pocket. That way, if you are one of the people like me who buys a car, pays it off, they have a way to still get money from me because I've decided to buy the car, pay it off early, and I'm done. I don't have a car payment. Oh, no. Yes, you do. You still have a $39.95 car payment a month because you have all these subscription services. I have been an advocate against this from the day one that I heard that they were thinking about doing this. And they pick up this idea from all your subscription services. Now, when COVID happened and we were all stuck in our houses, they learned that people will pay for subscription services. We did it to ourselves. Everybody, like Netflix, and I have Netflix, nothing against it, but like Netflix and Disney Plus and Discovery and all the different services that are out there, you name them, there's tons of them.
Which the prices for those are going up, which makes no sense.
Well, they're starting to learn that some of this may not be a good idea, but they realize that we'll pay for them. We did it ourselves. We went out and we were like, oh, well, we're just sitting at home. We got nothing else to do, and let's go ahead and sign up for every service there is, and we did it. From delivering groceries, you name it, we paid for it, and they're like, the car market, how do we get into this? How do we, well, this is how they did it. We're going to put all these features on a car. So you're going to buy a car and we're going to give you every single feature there is. So you purchase a car with everything. You name it, you got every single bell and whistle. Aren't you cool? Yeah, you are. You're really cool. Except you can't access them unless you pay them a monthly service to turn them on in your car. That's right. That means your car has it. You have heated seats. You have air conditioning seats. You have self-tinting windows. By the way, that's something somebody's working on right now. If you guys hadn't seen, it was an idea I've had forever, but
look,
I will say, to put it together.
I will
Somebody's
say
gonna
it's
make
not
it
a
ship.
bad idea. I feel like the way they're going with it.
It is a bad idea. It's a horrible
Let me
idea.
finish what I'm saying, right? So
hit you in the head with this
I
mug.
don't. I think where they're going with it, they're going the wrong direction with it. They could. It's a good idea to a point where, so like we were talking about, right? People pay for ease, right? So it's like what, a couple years ago, if you wanted to go find it, like any type of movie, you had to go pirate the movie, right? And stuff. And that took, well, and that took a while. You had to go.
Some people did.
Some people did.
Right.
I don't know any of those type of people,
I don't know those guys.
I don't know anybody that does that.
but regardless, it takes a while. So you're like 20 minutes looking for a movie and stuff. But people would rather pay the subscription just to go select the movie real quick, right? We all can agree.
Right.
That's what they should do for the car market. Instead of charging for these features that are already in the car, we've been wanting these features in the car for so long, right?
Everybody wants every feature
Right.
that's out there. Everybody wants
So,
to be the coolest guy and have everything.
Right. So let's just do what, I hate to keep using this example about iPhones. Let's do what iPhones do, right? Every year we get a brand new phone with a different new feature, new add-on, and the price doesn't move that much, right? We all agree
So
that.
you just want to do a once a year update?
No. What I'm saying
Okay.
is basically when we get a new iPhone, right? There's new features in that phone, and you don't really pay for those extra new features, right? The price of the phone doesn't really go up. Only time it goes up is for inflation, right?
Okay.
So when they put out these new cars with all these new features and stuff, I personally, as a consumer, would want to pay a little more upfront, right, to offset those costs than pay for different features. What they should do is, I, as a consumer, would rather pay for the ease of using, say, like your heated seats, right? Instead of paying for the heated seat feature, I would rather pay to be able to turn it on ahead of time, or to move my seat up and backwards, forwards, perfect setting, or
So have like a programmable setting.
right. It's more about the ease, right? You can still get auto start on your fob, but if you want to auto start it from anywhere, right, and you're on your plane, that's gonna have to cost you a little money. I can see people paying for the ease of the product than just using the product.
I'm not paying a monthly subscription
Sure, you would
for those features.
No,
I'm not
you
doing
you would
it.
pay.
No, I
listen,
would not. I'm
you
not
would,
paying a monthly subscription
so you
for a
wouldn't-
feature that's already on my car.
So
I'm not doing
hold on.
it.
No, you're missing my point. You're not paying for the features. You're not paying for the feature itself. You're paying for more of what goes on with the feature. So like, if you're on an airplane, right, you would pay $5. I know most people would. You pay if you're on an airplane, right, and you're in the middle of Chicago and it's freezing out, right, and you on the plane and you want your car heated up, but you're too far from your car. You paid $5 to make sure your car is heated up for the time you get there when you're off your plane.
Hold on. Does the car already have the feature on it?
Yes. Yeah. No, I agree. You should.
Answer my question.
Of the auto
Does
start?
the car already
Yes.
have that feature?
Yes.
It already has that feature
but your
on it.
key fob
And
can't reach,
hold on.
right?
And the car already has the capability of my phone connecting to that car from the day that I bought it. Yes or no? I just want simple answers. Does the car already have that capability?
It sure does, yeah.
Of my phone connecting to that car already?
Yeah.
You guys realize
Okay.
we already
Hold
go
on.
through that,
Hold
right?
on. No.
We do. Sirius
know.
X,
I understand.
Or Sirius, whatever those are, not Sirius.
I got it.
OnStar.
I
How
know.
many cars has OnStar?
My
in it
car
and you
already
guys
has
can
that
pay
capability. I can.
the subscription fee?
It already has that capability. If I wanted it, it already has that capability. I'm 100% addressing what Nathaniel is saying. I'm trying to address that. If the vehicle has that feature from day of purchase, I'm not paying extra for it. I don't think I should have to. If it has that feature from day of purchase, I don't want to pay a monthly fee to use it.
No.
You're going to be.
I don't want to pay a one-time fee.
Right.
to
No.
use it.
Okay. I think you're confusing it, right? You still have auto start, say, right? You can use auto start. All you're paying for is the capability to auto start your car from anywhere in the world. You can't do that. We all know you can't do that now.
All right.
I can.
I
Right.
understand what you're saying,
That-
but
if you buy the technology and you insert it, but we're talking about in the car when you buy it.
the car already has that capability, though, right?
No, well,
It does.
I mean, it does.
You're negating the question.
No, you
You're
understand, but it's a feature. You're paying for features. I'm talking about
If it already has that feature,
You do.
then I should have access
It's almost
to it
like
from the day
it's
I
almost
bought
like
the car.
it's almost like Spotify, right? Remember we were talking about Spotify.
So Spotify
you
is
have
different.
no,
That's
it's the same
different.
thing. You have the free songs.
No, because that's
Listen,
a software. That's a software that's extra with the vehicle. If you're going to sell me a feature of the car,
no. You still use the feature, right? Just like Spotify, you still get to use the free songs, right? Anytime you want. But if you want to,
okay, hold on. So let me make it a little easier. Let's stop from that. The car comes with heated. Okay, the car comes with heated and comes with cooling seats.
right?
Now, if the car comes with heated and cooled seat, cool it. If it comes with heating and cooling seats, am I supposed to have access to those from day one or pay a monthly subscription?
You should have access. But if you want to pay for the feature to have it heat up before you got in the car, I feel like that's a perfect option for some people. You still have the option to use it whenever you want to, but you have.
All right. But that's not what they're talking about.
No,
here.
that's what
That is not. Not what they're talking about.
I know that.
here.
That's why I said they're going at it at a wrong direction. They're charging for the actual features you have.
Okay, right.
Installed
And
or
that's-
the
and that's the
add-ons.
direction.
When they should be doing.
Guy with a laptop inside of a Toyota Camry or BMW.
Well, here's what's going to happen. I feel like if they do that, people are going to find a way to hack this.
Yes,
Somebody's going to find a way to hack all this if they do that, because no different than I told you about. So I told you guys a story about the Jaguar. I told you guys about the Jaguar.
Well, if it
the
breaks,
Jaguar that had the computers to the windows, and the kid brought it to me.
and you wire the windows.
Right, and it's the computer stopped working, and they wanted over $1,000 for the computer, and it was a kid who owned the car. He bought the car, just bought the car, and it stopped working. I told you I'd bypass the computer and made the windows work the way a normal old car would work without the computer, because it was a kid and he didn't have the money. I have a feeling like we're going to kind of go in that direction.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like for that exact same reason. But I am not on board with this. I'm 100% not on board with the fact if the car has it, I bought the car. I already paid for it. I know I paid for that. It's in the price of the car. I paid for those features. Whether you're giving me access to them or not, I paid for that. There's no way you sold me that car.
Something about that real quick. Did you see some of these videos that are now being posted about the car, like these new cars that are coming out? I don't know what car it is because I won't call it out, but they're now making it where you have to go into the touch screen, press what part you're replacing, and type in a service code, and then it unlocks the magnets from the part.
What?
Yep, there was a video out there. I just saw somebody post it this week.
Find me that video. That's
Show it
weird.
to you, but it's like, I don't know what vehicle it is. It's obviously a newer vehicle, but he's replacing something on it. We're showing like how new parts are about to be replaced. And he goes over to the tablet and it has like all the parts.
I think I saw something like that, but I really thought it was like a joke. I think I saw it. I thought it was a
like
joke.
Replacing or swapping, and like he hit it, a service code popped up. He had to
I
go
think I
type
did
in
see
a
that. I
service
think I
code.
saw that video, but I literally thought they were joking when I saw that video, and I just kind of went past it.
It was like unlocking magnets. And then like
No. I do believe I did see that video. I swore I thought they were joking when I saw it.
I don't think they were joking. I think I can see that coming to future.
I don't know. I hope they were joking when I saw it. I don't know.
If you have to go get service codes, one second.
I don't know. Yeah, but you can make up anything. Like,
on the hold line
could you
for
imagine
48
you had to like
hours.
hit like unlock a magnet every time you took a part out from a car? I
Be
don't
very
know.
annoying.
You have to find me that video now. Now I'm thinking about it. But seriously, so like I said, here's the thing. If you have to do that, the reason why I bring this up is New Jersey is going to be. They're trying to write into law. No subscription service cars will be able to be sold in New Jersey.
And I think you're going to see that a lot more happening.
Yeah, I am on, New Jersey. There's a lot of things I think you guys get wrong. This one, I'll applaud you. Please put this, and I think every other state should follow along. No subscription service cars to be sold, period. It's wrong if that car is sold to you with all of those features on it. You already paid for it. You already paid for that car with all those things.
Right. And then you start getting the problem like who fixes it if it breaks.
Right.
Who does the maintenance on it?
It is so wrong. If you guys agree with me, please send me a text, send me a message, send me an email. Let me know what you guys think, because we've talked about this on forums and stuff, and everybody is in agreement with me. And if you disagree, I want to know. You don't have to agree with me. You can tell me why you disagree with me, but send it over to me. You guys know whether we're on podcasts. You can reach us on podcasts. You guys can listen to the show live. You guys can listen to the backup shows on our webpage as well. So any of those different forums, let us know. I got to take a quick commercial break. When I come back, we got some more for you guys. So you guys hold tight, and I'll talk to you soon.
You're listening to Dave Palach on Let's Talk Cars Radio. Dave will be right back. Nobody remembers the name J.F. Whitlow & Sons Incorporated until you need them. But when you have a toilet problem, drains back up, pipes freeze, your heat or air conditioning stops working, then you remember J.F. Whitlow & Sons. Don't forget the phone number, 399-1714. That's 399-1714. Air conditioning and heating, and all plumbing. J.F. Whitlow & Sons have been serving Hampton Roads since 1949, residential and commercial. You can always count on J.F. Whitlow & Sons to get to you fast and get the job done right the first time. Located in Portsmouth and serving all of Hampton Roads. Those who know, call J.F. Whitlow & Sons. Call them at 399-1714. That's 399-1714. J.F. Whitlow & Sons Incorporated.
Hey, Michelle. Thanks for coming in.
No problem. What is that?
Oh, Curtis dropped that off earlier this week. He calls it the excitement button. Every time you say Liberty, I'm supposed to push this button.
Liberty?
Yeah.
Liberty?
Oh, yeah.
Liberty?
Liberty Transmissions for the working man.
I don't know about this, Dave.
You gotta admit, it's got a ring to it.
Liberty Transmission, 233-3131. That's 233-3131. Better yet, visit them today. 5160 Singleton Way in Virginia Beach. 233-3131. Liberty Transmission.
Something really cool happened in 1975. And no, it wasn't the beginning of the disco era. Congress passed the Magnuson-Moss Act, so you don't have to take your vehicle back to your dealer to keep your vehicle manufacturer's warranty in effect. Our Napa Auto Care Center uses the proper replacement parts and procedures to keep that warranty valid. Visit our independently owned Napa Auto Care Center today.
Hey guys, you asked for it and I delivered. Check out our all-star team of automotive specialists at NapaBDGHRVA.com. That's NapaBDGHRVA.com. Talk to you soon.
There's no place like home. Home is where the heart is. Home sweet home. Like every movie, book, and song, every story has a beginning and end. Let your story start today. Call Bob Barnum today at the Perfect House Team with the Real Estate Group.
Bob here from the Perfect House Team. From beginning to end, I'm ready to help you write your story. Call me today at 757-464-1003. That's 757-464-1003.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Cars Radio, your automotive specialist. Now, back to your host, Dave Palach.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. So, I got something for you guys. So this is weird. As you guys know, we wrapped up SEMA this past week, and it was great. We didn't go, and everybody's like, oh man, you guys didn't go to SEMA. Y'all didn't go to SEMA. Didn't see you at SEMA. Had a lot of friends that went to SEMA, but you're right. We did not do SEMA this year. We just had some other commitments. As you guys know, we are committed to doing some things here locally for charity, and we have our big, huge charity thing getting ready to start off for Christmas. We've been tied up in that. It's taken a lot of our attention, and I had to make a decision. You know, do we do SEMA or do we focus really heavily into our charity thing? And I really thought that for us, the charity thing was more important to me, to be honest with you guys. It's a
Plus, it seems like SEMA is starting to turn into more of a 2-year event, I feel like.
I think
almost
so.
like they're not trying to do it even though they do it every year.
Right.
It seems like more vendors every year are kind of holding back for next year.
Yeah, I agree. So I did miss a lot of the SEMA family and a lot of people we met and friends and stuff like that. Like I said, I had a bunch of friends that went down this year. I wish we could have went down with them, but and like I said, we're committed to our charity thing for Christmas. Like I said, so our big, huge Christmas charity thing is kicking off this year. We're getting together with a lot of our different sponsors and our families. As you guys know, for Christmas, we put this charity thing together where we put Christmas presents underneath the tree for a bunch of families. And it's a big, huge event for us. It takes a lot of work and effort to put together. So we've already kicked that off this year. If you guys want to get involved or anything like that, you have any questions on it, get a hold of us, send us a message and let us know. And I'll tell you what you can do to help us out. But yeah, we're heavily, heavily involved in that already this year. So yeah.
There's a lot of boxes already coming in. But if you guys do want to get in contact with us, sorry, I didn't mean to cut
No,
you
go
off.
ahead. By all means.
Give us a call, 757-222-3705. You can also send us a text at 757-866-2192, or just send us an email, Dave at Let's Talk Cars Radio, Cameron at Let's Talk Cars Radio. Yeah.
It's been.
We've got multiple ways to contact us.
Yeah, there's been a lot of boxes already showing up. It's starting to look like Christmas already. There's tons of boxes that we order a lot of stuff in for these families. So it's keeping us really busy. But I agree with Nathaniel. I think SEMA for us kind of more is probably going to be more like a 2-year thing because years back to back. I don't think it really makes sense for us. So maybe we'll look for this next following year to kind of maybe do
I feel
that.
like with all the electric cars going on, it's kind of like putting a halt to a lot of things because people kind of find their way of like how they want to go with the electric scene.
I think there's a lot of undiscovered things as far as the electric car market goes, and people are trying to navigate that a little bit to figure out how that combines into the two. So here's the thing. So there's a reason why I say that. So I talked to a lot of people after SEMA, people who went and our friends and stuff like that. There was a lot of customized versions of cars this year. And the big question actually that came up this year for customizations was, and going into the street scene. So as you guys know, so there's SEMA, and then after SEMA, there's the parade of cars. And then you can see a lot of cars that are out on the strip afterwards driving around. Not a lot of that this year from talking with people. Customization may have gone too far, I think, in the car world a little bit.
Where they're not allowed to drive the vehicles anymore. It's
not that they're not allowed to drive them. They're undrivable. So, I the conversation I got in with people was, has customization gone to a level that's too far? You guys know I love cars, and I love all different type of cars, okay? From hot rods to imports to you guys name it, I like them all. I can look at a car and go, oh, I like to do this, that, and that to it, and I think it would be cool. When I say that, I mean I'd like to do this, that, and this to it,
and still be able to drive it. I like drivable cars. We were at the trunk and treat, and we did the trunk and treat, and we picked the baddest Chevy, as I told you guys, at the trunk and treat. And it ended up being John had his Rat Rod Chevy out there. Now, it was low, really low. It's on bags. But as low as that truck sat, and even being on bags, that truck was still 100% drivable. And there was a lot of other cars out there. So another car that I really gravitate to, and I even noticed it in a picture, a week later, another car show, and it was in the background of the picture. So the vehicle that won an award at the car show, they took a picture of it, and I noticed just in the background, just the clip at the corner of it, was the Snow White Camaro. I saw. I knew you were going to say Camaro.
Yeah, I saw the Snow White Camaro in the background, just the back tail of it. But I had noticed because that car.
That was a lady that was driving that car.
It was.
Too,
it had
right?
it had such an impact. I think on the car, the way it was set up was cool. It wasn't overdone, but I noticed just the back tail of the car, and I made a comment. I said, "Oh, I see the Snow White Camaro in the background." You know what I mean? So, and not taking away from the winner that they posted the picture. It's just that car had been lightly done enough that I had remembered it, and then when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, there it is." So, once again, a car that was very nicely done, and it was drivable. And I just think you can do a lot of customization to cars, make them really, really cool, and still make them drivable. I hate when we do customization of cars, and they're not drivable. And a lot of the pictures that I saw that come out of Vegas this time were cars that were getting tore up. So I saw a couple of pictures people sent me. The cars were so customized as they were trying to take them out to drive them down the strip. And remember, guys, I lived in Vegas for a long time, so I'm really familiar with the area. Their front skirts catching, side skirts catching, back bumpers catching.
You're like, I probably would have hit that turn this way.
Right. I'm like, oh, and I felt bad. I'm like, you know, like for people had a lot of money in their car, and I'm like, you made your car so cool that it's not even drivable. You can't, you can't even take it out for a drive. And I'm like, why?
Right. Every drive, is costing you money.
Right, exactly. I'm like, you understand what I'm saying?
Right, 100%. I was just telling my buddy about that, the other day. I was like, I early on put a lot of money in my car, and I early on realized that it is a recurring purchase. Tires. I was telling buddy, I was like,
your Civic was like. Yours could be a case study,
right. It's just it's a money pit.
Maybe it didn't go wrong.
No, it's a money pit. I mean, $130 a tire.
You customized your car to the point that it was right on the edge of being drivable.
Right, exactly.
It needed to be. It
had to have an upkeep the whole
In
time.
his car, but I did, and it wasn't even my vehicle.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, $130 for a tire there. So you're talking about $600 worth of tires. And you're talking about, fixing your rims if you need to, if they got damaged, doing this, doing that, changing that.
Your car was cool. I thought your car had a really nice look to it. But your car was on the cuff of being non-drivable because of the
every time you did take it out, you're putting some money into it.
Yeah, right.
Fixing a dent.
And you were trying to daily drive your car.
Right, it was a daily driver.
It was. But it was.
Not that he was trying. It was.
No, and he did. So Nathaniel's car, that's a perfect example. Nathaniel's car had a really cool look to it. It was a cool looking car, but it was right on the cuff of, he took it right to that edge of, this is drive from home to a car show and back from a car show home to, probably shouldn't be daily driving this car anymore. So yours is the perfect example. These cars that people had sent me pictures of, they were that and then taken
a little more
to the point where, you hit a pebble and you were like catching like the back bumper on it. You know what I mean? Like
those videos where people are like pulling up the driveways and they get they get stuck. And you gotta get out there.
That's exactly what they were exactly at that point. Yeah,
the three-wheeling, you can't get out. You gotta have someone push you off.
Yeah. They were to that when I was just like
rocking the back.
Right.
Trying to get that
tire. And I was at that point. I was like, how did we get to the point where it's that far and nobody seems to like care? Like I'm looking at cars that have like $20,000 paint jobs on them. I mean, I've done paint jobs. I know what they cost. Not that I've sprayed them. I've had to pay somebody to do paint jobs on cars. And I'm sitting there going, as I'm, dialing out the money. So I know what paint jobs cost. And it's no fun if you're not a painter and you got to pay somebody good money to do a good paint job on the car. I want to look at the Trans Am. You know what I mean? Trans Am's a perfect example. I got a really nice paint job on that car. And I can only imagine. I got the front. My front spoiler on the car
off.
It hangs really low.
Yeah.
So when that car we put that car on the road, that's the first thing. I'm already trying to think of a million ways.
It's not even squatted yet.
Right, and that car's going to be squatted. So I'm already trying to think of a million ways, and it already sits low without it being squatted.
You just gotta get one of those rubber lip covers.
I think what I'm going to do is I truly think what I'm going to do on that car is I'm going to put sensors or something on the front that alert me.
It's funny that you say that though, because it was a perfect conversation when me and Nate was just talking about it when we were coming to the studio today. We were talking about if we ever do go back to SEMA and if we are going to bring the Trans Am and if we're going to bring Old Blue, and what's our future goals for that.
Right.
And we were talking. We were like, I was like, I don't think Dad would ever put his car in a call hauler. And he was like, what? He was like, he wouldn't drive it. And I was like,
I wouldn't drive it to SEMA.
I was like, yeah. I was like, but I can also see a call hauler in our future. I said, because Dad, that's too many miles for Dad to go, yeah, you can take my car and try to get it there. I was like, Dad rather take the risks and the gambles with
no,
his
I'd
own
probably
call hauler.
I'd either pay somebody to haul it out there or I'd get a trailer ourselves and haul it out there. Old Blue, I would probably take to SEMA if it was done right.
Would you drive it though?
No, I'd haul that too. I wouldn't drive it. I'd haul that too. You know what I did see? I popped up. Somebody had sent me. I saw a '76 Celica for sale this week that I actually really thought about buying. That I thought would be cool and do like a super swap or something like that on it.
I'm not a big fan of Celicas.
Your wife is going to kill you with
I
as
know.
many vehicles.
I already know. Look up a '76 Celica. Anybody who's an old Toyota fan. The 76 Celica's GT is actually a pretty cool looking car, and if you did a really cool motor swap on it, it'd be a really neat car to have. Maybe that's just maybe I'm wrong. It's my personal opinion.
Isn't that the car that was driven in Malcolm Meets the Middle or something like
I
that.
don't know who drives it. I don't know. A Celica GT from 1976, I think, is actually a pretty cool looking car. I just like it. And like I said, if you squatted that thing right and did a good motor swap in it and stuff like that, I think that'd actually be a really slick car. If you did it back the white color and put all the stripes back on it in the right way, I think it'd be a neat car. I think it had, if I remember correctly, they had an orange. They came with orange, yellow, and brown stripe, pinstriping on them. Correct me, guys.
It's funny because you can definitely tell it was from this generation.
Well, yeah, of course it is.
It looks like a.
But it would be a cool car.
What's that car look like?
But I don't know. Like I said, if you guys don't agree with me, tell me I'm wrong. But I'm all for customizing all kinds of things. It doesn't matter. I like.
Kind of look at a Datsun. It has a little Datsun look to it.
Yeah, it has a little, just a tad bit.
At least the back.
Like a B, like B is with the B10 Datsun. Kind of has maybe a little B10 Datsun look to it. It could be. I think that's the right
name.
Car. Yeah, you guys have to look that up. I think it was the B10 Datsun.
Oh.
But anyway, that's the one I think you guys would be a cool car to customize.
Wait a
Like I
minute.
said, I saw that was.
I
up
know
for
where we're
sale.
about to go, but it's from Ferris Bueller, man. It's in Ferris Bueller.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I looked it up. It's in Ferris
I
Bueller,
had to
and he
look
gets
up.
pulled over.
I don't
Yes.
know. I'll look up. Anyway, guys, I got to take a quick commercial break. I'll get back to you guys soon. Talk to you soon.
You're listening to Dave Palach on Let's Talk Cars Radio. Dave will be right back. Nobody remembers the name J.F. Whitlow & Sons Incorporated until you need them. But when you have a toilet problem, drains back up, pipes freeze, your heat or air conditioning stops working, then you remember J.F. Whitlow & Sons. Don't forget the phone number, 399-1714. That's 399-1714. Air conditioning and heating, and all plumbing. J.F. Whitlow & Sons have been serving Hampton Roads since 1949, residential and commercial. You can always count on J.F. Whitlow & Sons to get to you fast and get the job done right the first time. Located in Portsmouth and serving all of Hampton Roads. Those who know, call J.F. Whitlow & Sons. Call them at 399-1714. That's 399-1714. J.F. Whitlow & Sons Incorporated.
Okay, guys, it's time to change up Liberty's commercial. Curtis couldn't make it, so Michelle Price is coming in, and she said absolutely no messing around this time. Hey, Michelle, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
Hi, I'm Michelle Price from Liberty Transmission. Now, I could sit here and tell you a bunch of stuff you really don't care to hear about transmissions, but I'm not. However, if you want a great transmission at a fair price, and you want it from a family shop where a handshake still means everything, come see us at Liberty Transmission. My husband's name is on every one. How was that?
Well, I think that pretty much says it all, but just one last thing. Woo! Sorry, Michelle. Curtis made me do it.
Liberty Transmission, 233-3131. That's 233-3131. Better yet, visit them today. 5160 Singleton Way in Virginia Beach. 233-3131. Liberty Transmission.
There's something special about Napa Auto Care Centers. They're backed by the national strength of Napa. Nationwide warranties honored by thousands of locations. You know that's Napa know-how. But more importantly, your Napa Auto Care Center is independently owned and operated by neighborhood professionals who operate by a written code of ethics. Put your vehicle in the hands of ASE certified technicians who will greet you with a smile you can trust. Visit us today.
You heard me say it, and now here's your chance. Now's the time to go find your auto garage. Don't wait until it's too late. Go to NapaBDGHRVA.com and find your all-star car care center today. That's NapaBDGHRVA.com. Talk to you soon. Hey guys, Dave from Let's Talk Cars Radio. So for the last 2 years, if you listen to the show, you've heard me talk about my dream house. It has been a great experience buying land, building my house, even selling my old house. One thing I didn't tell you about was the real estate agent that I used. I used Bob Bardem from the Perfect House team in the real estate group. It's been one of the best experiences I've ever had. Bob has been there for us from beginning to end and treated us just like family. I'm telling you, you've heard me talk about this because it has been one of the truly best experiences that I've had. If I did not choose Bob, I don't think that I would have all the best things to say about building this house. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home, definitely give Bob a call at the Perfect House Team in the Real Estate Group. You can contact Bob at 757-464-1003. That's 757-464-1003. And I'll talk to you soon.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Cars Radio, your automotive specialist. Now, back to your host, Dave Palach.
Hey guys, welcome back. So, moving on to the next topic. I know you guys love how I change topics really quickly, right? I got one here for you. So,
Topic guru.
huh?
Topic guru.
Topic guru?
Yeah.
I always got all kinds of topics. You know how it is.
All the time.
So, it's kind of been raining here. Yesterday, well, it's been drizzly, and then it clears up usually by the morning goes away. And I've always told you guys that, like, I don't think people pay attention either enough to their vehicles, to the condition of their vehicles, I should say, and or to the road conditions for what they are. You know, around here, and I know a lot of other parts, during this time of year, we get that morning, like, dew and drizzle in the morning, and then the sun comes up and it kind of goes away. But here's the thing. It amazes me still to this date how people either don't have their car in the right conditions for as it turns into this type of weather. And what I mean, checking your tires, checking your windshield wipers. You guys know I'm a huge windshield wiper person.
Windshield wipers, air pressure,
Yeah.
tire tread.
Okay.
What else?
So we're going to get into this.
Hey, look. I already know where this
Checking
is.
all of those.
Hey, man, I saved my car, all right? And that's
No,
all,
no,
that's
no,
all
no,
that
no,
matters.
it's not on you. No, I'm not even
Oh,
going there
okay.
yet. I was going to tell him myself.
Oh, all right. I was about to say,
I'm
I
gonna tell
saved my
myself.
car. I mean,
So we're talking about the tires, right? And I think I was telling you guys a little bit about this. So if you guys didn't hear about this, and I'll tell on myself. So we're talking about tires, and you guys know I'm really good with my own vehicles. I keep up with all my different maintenances and stuff like that. You know, I've always been very, very good with all the condition of my vehicles. I'm going to tell myself, because we were talking about this before, and I don't think I went into full description on this. So walking my car over, I walk my car over all the time. So I check my vehicle, I check my tires. You know, I'm good with my oil changes. And, you know, I told you I keep on having these birds that keep on making a nest underneath my hood. And I don't know why they keep on doing it. They're just attracted to my vehicle, and they keep making a nest underneath the hood, and it's driving me nuts. I cannot keep them out from underneath my hood. So I'm constantly popping the hood and pulling the nest they keep on trying to make out from underneath my hood. And it's not just one time of the year.
You know how you probably solve that? You probably could solve that by actually putting a bird nest or
Another
a bird
bird
stand.
nest?
No, like a bird stand somewhere in the yard.
No.
So they have somewhere to go other than make their own.
There's already two
He's
out
already
there.
tried
There's two
that,
tree
yeah.
houses out there, right? Not the next door neighbor on his piece of property has two big, like they hold like, I don't know, 50 birds in each tree house. And they're still
Maybe
making
they're
a
full.
nest.
Maybe they're full.
I don't know. They're still making.
There's not enough apartments out there for them.
There's not enough apartments. They're still making nests. And so it's driving me. So I keep on, and I'm talking about they make a good sized nest. And what the problem is, they're making a nest not only underneath the hood, but they're going between the fender and the side metal where I can't get my hand down, and they're going down in there trying to make a nest way down there, and you can't get it out. Even with a pressure washer shoving in, I can't get it out. So I'm gonna have to take the inner fender well out to get it. But that's besides the point. I'm still very good with maintenance on the vehicle. So I'm gonna tell myself how this works. I had turned the tires all the way in on the truck, okay,
Okay.
and parked it. I think I backed into a parking spot, and I turned my tires all the way to one side. I don't usually, I think I must usually just straighten my tires up when I park because I hadn't noticed it. So I go in and went to lunch to where I was at, and I come out from lunch and glance at the tire. The inside tread of the tire, I think I was telling you
we're
guys
showing
about it.
wire.
It's starting to have some metal come through on the inside of that tire. I would have never had noticed that, I think, when I was telling you guys before, had I not turned my tire on all the way in.
It's funny that you say that, though, because, like, I just did a walk around. I got a rant, but I'll go on that
No.
for a minute.
So
I walked around my car, and I started to notice, instead of checking the front of the tire,
Right.
I actually put the coin all the way in the back of the tire.
Okay, so this is on the back. This, like I said, this is on the back side. I would
Back
not
side
have
of the
noticed that.
tire,
It's on the
yeah.
back side of the tire. And I was telling you guys a story before about the different tires. I think we were talking about the tires on the Camry because we got into this when we were talking about the Camry.
The Camry. yeah.
Okay, and how the tires on the Camry, and they were telling me about switching.
Right. You're
You
telling
know,
us
the
about
tires
that
are like-
that
Right.
particular tire has a bad wear when it gets to a certain amount of miles.
Right, it does. So, and I was telling you about how the truck tire does it. So, with me, like I said, I would have never noticed that tire is wearing on the truck had I not turned that tire all the way over to one side. I go to the other side. I'm like, well, let me check the other. And I look on the other side, and that tire on the other side is wearing. Now, keep in mind, the alignment on that truck is good. And this is the second time the tires on that truck have worn like that on that truck. So I think that's why I was telling you guys when we were talking about the Camry before. I think the truck is just inherently the way the heaviness of it wears
kind of
tires
burns
like
the tires a little bit, but
I think it does. I think it cups the tires to a certain way, and that's the reason why it wears like that. But here's the thing: when that truck is sitting, and I get out, so when I go to drive my truck, I just kind of walk around my truck. I look to make sure I don't see any leaks when I move it in the driveway. The truck hasn't struck a leak or anything like that. And I look at the tread of the tires all the time. You can't see that. When I mean a fine line, it's probably a line about that big on the inside of that tire. You cannot see that unless I had cranked that tire all the way over and left that tire like that. I just so happened when I had to back into that parking spot, I had to get into it. I had to turn it, and then I just left the tire like that. Just for whatever reason, I just left the wheel turn and I got out of the truck. I would have never noticed it. So I'm telling you guys, make sure you look over your vehicle. And the reason why it's important, when you're on rainy roads and stuff like that, the off-ramps. 3 times now I've come to an off-ramp where there's a car spun out off the off-ramp down in the ditch. The tread life on your tire makes a huge difference coming up. It may not make a difference when you're up on the road or you're up on the freeway. Off-ramps are slicker than snot, guys. They just are. Inherently, they're just totally, completely slick. More than anything else, I don't know if the grease and stuff like that from cars driving on the road and stuff like that just tends to run down the off-ramp.
What I think it is, I think it's the oil. Like,
that's what I'm talking about.
I think when your car's pitched down, your oil is like splatting. But I also think
splatting.
Yeah,
splatting.
I also think like when we do our road maintenance, we're only paying attention to the highways necessarily, never the off ramps. So like the off ramps kind of do have a little bit of bumps in the weird
it's not
places.
So much that.
You know,
so
like,
I can tell you that when I come on an off ramp in my truck, and my truck's a Chevy truck and it's heavier, I can feel the difference when I come onto an off ramp in my truck. I can feel the back end of that truck feels so much lighter. And I have, and I have traction control, and I can every once in a while watch my traction control light start to blink.
Never thought about that. Your front weight's being pushed forward. I just think the road itself is slicker as you're coming off that off ramp. But when you're on an off ramp, you're kind of at like an incline. So like, well, you are. You're down at an incline. Your weight balance when you were straight has now gone down to this. So all your weight is this. I think it has something to do with that. You've removed some of the weight off the back tires, but I think that they are slicker because I think some of the road grime and stuff like that gets on the off ramp. Yesterday I come around and I told you.
Plus, it's a very sharp off turn.
They are. Yesterday I come off the off ramp and there's a guy down in the ditch. And I was first on the scene. And he just slid and bam, right into the ditch he was. And I told you guys I don't stop a whole lot anymore, but I stopped. I did. I shot Cameron a picture as I was getting back in my truck. And I'm actually kind of glad you sent me a photo because, like I was telling you yesterday, if I was... And that's where I have to say, like, all right, maybe you do drive a little aggressive. But if I was driving the way that I usually drive on that off-ramp yesterday, because it happened to me too, all right? Look, my car... Cameron thought I was going to tell on him. I thought he was going to tell on me, and that's what I was talking about. He sent me a photo. I'm glad I sent you the picture, though. Yeah, and I usually call him on my lunch break, and I just told Siri to hang up the phone. And then as I went to go onto the off-ramp, the whole back end just... like somebody just tapped it, like with a hand. He said, I feel like I was Tokyo drifting. The back end slid around on me. I was like Tokyo drift. But you're right. If I think with me checking my tires and having that much traction on that tire, was able to get that car to whip back around. Cameron says, he goes, I don't know what it was. You sent me that photo. He goes, and then I was on the freeway after I saw that photo. I got ready to come onto the off-ramp, and I just thought about that photo you sent me, so I reduced my speed slower than I normally would come off that off-ramp, and sure enough, I'm on the off-ramp, and the car starts sliding around on me. I look over, because the speed limit sign is there. It says 40, because that's the first question Mom asked me. She was like, were you doing this over the speed limit? I was like, no. Like, I looked at the speed limit, saw it say 40. I looked down, was like, all right. I dropped it down to 30, and after it hit 30, and I went to go right into, because our exit takes a right and then takes an immediate left. Right when I went to go put the car towards the right,
that back end was just lighter than the front, and it just pushed it towards the front. And I
Cameron
was
goes, all I saw was a telephone pole.
yeah, I know. I was like, all I saw was a telephone pole. And like my biggest worry was, and I'm going to say it on the show because he talks about it all the time, the dinging, and he tells me to put on my seatbelt. I wasn't on the phone long enough with him where it couldn't go off. But as the car was sliding, all I heard was ding, ding. And all I kept thinking in my mind was, crap, I don't have my seatbelt on. And there's a telephone pole in front of me. But I was able to whip it.
That's why I tell you guys all the time,
driving.
Please put your seatbelt on. And I sure am glad that I took them out in a parking lot at a young age and showed them how to drift.
Yeah.
Because I think that 100% has improved their driving skills, because we took heavy vehicles out in the snow and in the water, and I used to drift and then show them how to correct the vehicle in a drift. And I think that has taught them how to work the wheel better when you get the back end of the vehicle to slide around, and you've done a control drift. Then now you know how to bring it back around. When I was telling
somebody about it yesterday, they're like, so what did you do? Did you hit the brakes when you started? I was like, no, I started to let the car slide back to the left and then powered through. Yep. I was like, tap the gas a little bit to get it to slide. It's like the only time I hit the brakes or tapped him was when it started to go back left the other corner. I was like, I had to get the ABS to kick in. So
on that note, guys, I'm telling you, wet driving and making sure that you guys have all the right equipment. Make sure your tires are in good shape. Make sure you have windshield wipers. Make sure you have everything that you need to keep yourself safe. It's becoming that time of year. You're going to make sure you take a look at things. Like I said, I would have never even noticed that I had that wear on the inside tire had I not had my tires turned to the right thing. So make sure you guys take a look at that, because like I said, I want you guys to be safe. I got to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I got some more for you guys, so hold tight. I'll talk to you soon.
You're listening to Dave Palach on Let's Talk Cars Radio. Dave will be right back. Nobody remembers the name J.F. Whitlow & Sons Incorporated until you need them. But when you have a toilet problem, drains back up, pipes freeze, your heat or air conditioning stops working, then you remember J.F. Whitlow & Sons. Don't forget the phone number, 399-1714. That's 399-1714. Air conditioning and heating, and all plumbing. J.F. Whitlow & Sons have been serving Hampton Roads since 1949, residential and commercial. You can always count on J.F. Whitlow & Sons to get to you fast and get the job done right the first time. Located in Portsmouth and serving all of Hampton Roads. Those who know, call J.F. Whitlow & Sons. Call them at 399-1714. That's 399-1714. J.F. Whitlow & Sons Incorporated.
Hey, Michelle, thanks for coming in.
No problem. What is that?
Oh, Curtis dropped that off earlier this week. He calls it the excitement button. Every time you say Liberty, I'm supposed to push this button.
Liberty?
Yeah.
Liberty?
Oh, yeah.
Liberty?
Liberty Transmissions for the working man.
I don't know about this, Dave.
You gotta admit, it's got a ring to it.
Liberty Transmission, 233-3131. That's 233-3131. Better yet, visit them today. 5160 Singleton Way in Virginia Beach. 233-3131. Liberty Transmission.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Well, here's a pound of prevention from your Napa Auto Care Center. We'll customize a preventive maintenance package for your vehicle that will save you time, money, and hassles now and down the road. We'll ask, do you drive mainly in the city or on the highway? Plan to keep your vehicle? How long? And more. Preventive maintenance is a good thing that prevents bad things. Build yours at your Napa Auto Care Center today.
Hey guys, Dave Pilach from Let's Talk Cars Radio. Do you currently have a repair shop you trust? Haven't found the time to go to a garage for all your automotive needs? Check out the all-star team at Napa BDGHRVA.com. That's Napa BDGHRVA.com. Let them show you what it's like to work with the professionals and make a friend along the way. Talk to you soon.
So you're ready to make a move, whether buying or selling a home. You find you have more questions than answers. You're wondering if you're even asking the right questions, or where do you go from here? Stop, take a deep breath, even count to 3. Buying or selling a home is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. Every house has a story. Let yours begin now by calling me, Bob Barnum, with the Perfect House team at the Real Estate Group. Call me today at 757-464-1003. That's 757-464-1003.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Cars Radio, your automotive specialist. Now, back to your host, Dave Palach.
Hey guys, welcome back. So here's something a little different. We'll go in a whole nother direction. You guys ready to go in a different direction?
I was trying to think of a catchy catchphrase, but I wanted to be like flashback. But
yeah, there ain't no flashback. So here's something a little off topic of what we normally talk about.
Off topic.
No, that didn't work. That one didn't. You should have did like some scary sound for that one. That would have been like. All right. We've all been in this situation. Maybe not all of us, but most of us have been in this situation where we've had to have our car towed, right? I mean, like, it's not pleasant. Usually, if you're having your car towed, you were broke down somewhere.
It's a terrible experience.
You know you're going to wait 32 an hour to like 2 hours
32
to
hours.
3.
Wow.
Like 30 minutes to an hour.
I think you said
2
32 hours. I was like, 32 hours. I'm like, who you have?
Let's be honest. It takes a long time for a tow truck to pass by, and I've been on the side of the road where I've called a tow truck and watched multiple of their tow trucks pass by, and I'm like, they must.
All right, so here's the deal. So let's start off with the basics. If you break down, hopefully you have a auto service already. Like you have either a garage that you do business with that you can call and say, hey, I'm broke down. I need to have my car towed to your garage. And they have a tow truck under contract. Some company that will come get you. That's number one. Or you have a roadside service plan. Hopefully you have one that works for you, like AAA. You know, I have a AAA card, and I'm a long card member holder. The boys both have theirs. We got them for when they first started driving, and they've had them since then. And they use them as needed. Because
my renewal's coming up, wink, wink.
Wink, wink. my renewal's coming up, wink, wink. But, you know.
I'm not going to lie, I haven't used it since I've had it.
Really?
I've used it like one time.
No, you've used it with friends. You've been riding with friends and you've used it and you've called it.
I have.
Because that's the best thing. But if you didn't know, it doesn't cover the vehicle. It covers you. So if you're in a friend's car and his car breaks down, you can call and it covers you. It
You've
goes
only
with
used
you.
yours once or twice. I've used all my tows.
It's great. Yeah, that's
I've
what
used all my
I've
toes.
used all my toes. It's great to have. And it serves some other purposes too. If you guys didn't know, if you look it up, it's got a bail bond service on it, other different things it has. So people didn't know that, but if it does, look it up. It gives you some other different things.
Thank you for reminding me. I need to go grab my travel pack from them.
Yeah. So
that travel pack we always talk about with the flares and everything.
I'm always curious, like
got
how
them
that
free
became
right
a
now.
package. Like you just kind of think, like if you know this, like did the CEO one time just end up in jail and was like, you know what, we probably should add a jail bond. Like we probably should add this into our clause.
I know you can call for our club, Carol Orman, and ask her how that became part. Maybe she has an answer. I don't know, but no, I mean it's great. You guys know that I live by having I love my AAA policy. And I know there's other ones out there. I mean, I had Geico for insurance for a long time, so I was doubled up. So Geico gave me one as well, even though that I had. Cameron's like, I got Geico.
Oh, I got Geico, and I've also used.
AAA.
Remember that app we talk about all the time, Life 360?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, that's right. They have
one for $7 a month. And one time I was locked out of my vehicle, so I just started the policy for $7 a month. And I called them right up, and they were like, "We see you're part of our policy. It's free." And the next month I was like, I don't think I use this policy enough.
You're such a shyster. What a shyster.
But no, I actually
I've seen ones like I've literally seen people send me one. They're like. And it starts immediately, like so. You could start like a policy like right that second. They'd send something to you, which I don't understand. I guess because they're trying to get you to stay or whatever. But
hey, I paid monthly for them.
No,
okay?
no. I mean, there's ones out there. But here's the thing. So when you get your car towed, like you want to make sure that it's on the up and up. So be careful, like who tows your vehicle too, because like I've seen people just like pick numbers out of a telephone book to get towed, and like maybe I'm not saying that wouldn't work out for you, but. You have to be real careful, like when you get cars towed. Like when the car gets towed, there's a lot that goes into it. So there has to be a lot of expertise when a car gets towed. There's a lot of different things. And I can tell you, if you guys don't know, if you hadn't never listened or you never caught the episodes where we talked about it, so I'm know a lot about. I used to teach towing. I used to teach people how to do recoveries and do rollovers and all that kind of stuff way back in the day.
Built a tow truck.
Yeah, I designed a tow truck too at one point in time.
It's
in
a
my
job
life.
that requires a second look.
It does. It definitely. You have to have second and third look, really, and it's also a job that becomes rudimentary too. That you really need to jump out of that rudimentary because as Nathaniel just pointed out, it really does require a second and a third look, especially when you're handling out different things. You're on crash scenes and things like that. So
I think the best thing you taught a tow truck driver, and I actually watched you teach him when we were a kid, rocket. Do you remember that? Where you were always saying when you put the car on it, and when it's straight, just give it a little rock and see if that car is going to go anywhere.
Yeah. There's something to that, or how to get cars out of hairy situations with just using your head. I've taught a lot of those different situations over the years. There's a friend of mine I'm still friends with after all these years, and when him and I first became friends, he was an employee of mine who had never drove a tow truck ever, and I literally taught him within 2 weeks like almost everything he ever needed to know about driving a tow truck, and he became a very, very good and responsible tow truck driver. And,
is he still one?
Huh?
Is he still a tow truck?
I don't know if he's still driving. He may still be driving a tow truck. I'm not sure if he is or not. I can't remember if he retired already or not.
I still see a couple of our I guess I call them agents or tow truck operators that I've known since I was a kid. Right. Like when I call AAA sometimes, I do see tow truck drivers all the time. Now, I don't say anything, but I'm just like, I'm over here like, I don't think you know that I've known you since I was like a little kid.
Right, yeah. It's funny. There's still some of them out there running around. But yeah, like I said, I mean, there's definitely a lot that goes into it. And I mentioned that because we had there was a situation with, like last past week that I've seen with tow truck and a mishap. So when I see things, and I'll even be at stoplights. So, and that used to happen a lot. I don't do nearly as much as I used to, but I'd be at a stoplight and a tow truck would pull up next to me and I'd point out like 10 things wrong with the tow as the vehicle was sitting next to me. I'd be like, ooh, that's wrong. Oh, that's wrong. That should be hooked up this way. That's hooked up, and I just start pointing out all the things that were wrong. And I used to do it a lot way back in the years. And now, like I said, I don't do it nearly as much. Now, if I see like a really bad violation, I'll be like, ooh, that's wrong. This is wrong. And that really shouldn't be that way. And how dangerous is that? Let me go ahead and get away from this vehicle. and I'll do that, but I won't, like some of the littler ones I don't point out like I used to. I used to be really bad with it when I was.
Another thing is, if it's 2:00 in the morning and you're passing a tow truck, do not make the comment and go, wow, I'm really glad that's not me. Because your tire will pop within the next... Did I not tell you that happened to me? I was next to a tow truck. I looked at the car. I think it was even the same car as mine. I was just like, man, I'm glad that's not me. I'm driving. Next thing I know is poof. And the tow truck passes me. I'm like, sucks, this is me. Had to pull over, change my tire at 3 a.m. in the morning, man. That sucked.
Karma got you, huh?
It did. That's what I was thinking, too. I was just like, man, I shouldn't have made that comment.
Karma's a horrible thing sometimes.
It is.
I remember we were, so I entered a demolition derby race, and my buddy was towing my demolition derby car back for me after we were in the race. My car was pretty tore up. We left at the same time from the racetrack, and I'm like, got home, and he still hadn't shown up. I'm like, where is he? We left the track at the same time, and I'm waiting for him. I think I went in the house. Like, I took a shower. I got done with the shower. I came downstairs. He still wasn't back to my house. I'm like, where in the world is he? And all of a sudden, he finally pulls up, and I hear him coming before he ever gets to the house. I'm like, what in the world? He towed the car back and blew both back tires out, and was on the rims.
The tow truck was?
No, the car. He had put the car down on the back tires from the wrecker. It was dragging the demo car on the back tires, and the back tires blew out. And he was like, I wasn't stopping. Because it was already late. By the time we got back from the racetrack, got done with the race, and it was like already like 1 o'clock at night. So he just drug it all the way there. I don't know when he blew the tires out. He drug it all the way home on the rims.
Surprised nobody pulled him over.
I was surprised too.
From our North Carolina spot? Oh my God.
Where we used to race in North Carolina? Yeah. Yeah. He drug it all the way home on the rims. I'm like, holy cow. He's like, I wasn't stopping. It was 2 o'clock morning. He's like, I'm not stopping. He's like,
because once you stop, you ain't getting that thing back.
Well, there was no spare tires we had. There was no spare tires we had or anything like that for it.
I'll say his name. You know, Caden drove his car on his rim yesterday.
Oh, no.
And blew his tire out, and the police officer took him to the store, but then made him walk.
Oh, hold
back
on.
to his vehicle.
Hold on. I got the best one for you. I know we got to go soon, but hold on. When I was in the tow business, I got to get this one out quick because we got to go. So when I was in the tow business, I get a telephone call from a customer that our tow truck messed his car up and I needed to come out and take a look. I was like, okay, how they mess? It was like, well, he went to go pick it up and now it's messed up. You need to come take a look at it. He did all this kind of damage to my car. I'm like, okay. So I leave my office to go take a look at this car. Seriously, to go take a look at this car. Because the customer's calling me and telling me there's damage.
And your tow truck driver calls you.
Right. The tow truck driver calls it. I get on the freeway. I get probably maybe 2 miles from the customer's house. And I notice there's damage on the freeway. Like I see like these scratch marks on the freeway. It looked like somebody poured paint on the freeway, right? And I'm driving, and I look, I'm like, man, I look at it, and it looked like it was paint. It's further I go, the worse the paint marks get. What I think is paint marks. I go all the way down the off-ramp. They're all the way down the off-ramp. They're at the turn, all the way down the road, into the apartment complex, over the speed bumps, all the way to the parking spot that this car is sitting in, right? They're not paint marks. They're grooves that have been carved into the asphalt all the way from the freeway. The guy drove the car all the way home that night with no tire on the rim. The rim was literally destroyed all the way down to like nothing. And it was where the rim had dug into the ground from him. I don't know if he was under the influence when he drove home that night or whatever, but they weren't paint marks. And that was the deal on that. And that guy was trying to tell me that the tow truck had damaged his wheels somehow. And I was like, no, sir. So on that note,
the car doesn't even move.
Towing is a strange thing, guys. On that note, I got to go ahead and get out of here. It's been another great show spending with you guys. Make sure you turn off your TVs, play a board game with your kid, spend some time with it, unplug. They'll love you for it. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. I'll talk to you guys next week. Love you, and I'll talk to you soon.